Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Dhamma of Peace series number 35. Honor those who are worthy of honor. Usually, people who avoid suffering-producing actions have insight into cause and effect and have a pure mind, are meditation teachers or preceptors who can guide yogis to experience or see the Dhamma. Buddhist culture in Myanmar holds the view that Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, parents, teachers, dignified personnels, morally endowed people, and elders who bear a sincere mind are worthy of honor and respect. Buddha said in the Mangala Sutta that honoring those worthy of honor is one of the 38 highest blessings. The following account that occurred during Buddha's time is a good illustration of the above statement. Upadesa and Kolika, whom later are known as Sariputta and Moggallana, and 500 followers went to the Veluvana forest, where Buddha and 1,068 arahants resided. They went there to become a bhikkhu. After hearing Buddha's dispensation and having self-contemplation, all 500 became arahants. Venerable Moggallana had parami practicing psychic powers for 2 incalculable and 100,000 world cycles. Therefore, it took him 7 days to contemplate psychic powers with the final attainment. Venerable Sariputta had practiced intelligence and wisdom. In Pali, it's called Pinya. 2 incalculable and 100,000 world cycle, which is actually half the time of the Buddha. Buddha practiced full incalculables and 100,000 one cycle to fill the paramis to become Buddha. And these 2 disciples, they practice their own path for half the time that Buddha did. So, Sariputta analyzed all Dhamma and understand all the intricacies in conjunction with the final attainment. For that reason, it took 2 weeks to become an arahant. That's a little story how Venerable Moggallana and Sariputta became arahant. From that story, a noteworthy, on a practical sense, a noteworthy incident occurred while Venerable Moggallana was practicing to attain arahantship. He was physically exhausted on the evening of the 7th night as he emphasized walking meditation heavily the whole day. So he was very good at sitting meditation, so he emphasized more on walking meditation and finally became physically exhausted. So he became sleepy during sitting meditation in the evening. The Buddha knew about it and went to him and gave him instruction on how to overcome sleepiness, which is also suitable for the monks. And it is a separate sutta regarding to those antidote for sleepiness. It's called Pasalala Mana Sutta. In brief, these 7 are: 1. One must not accept but reject sleepy consciousness. Don't embrace it, reject it if it comes. 2. Analyze and reflect on the Dhamma that one had learnt. 3. Recite aloud the Dhamma one had learnt. 4. Wash one face with cold water and briefly look around, examine the surroundings. 5. Pull one's ear and rub the body and hands. 6. Develop the perception of life with clarity in the mind. So in other words, one must develop light that can see with the mind. You must have a strong psychic power to do that visualization technique. 7. Walk forward and backward. It literally means when you are going forward, step forward, step forward, step forward. And then when you say backward, actually you have to walk back. Heel first, heel first, heel first. You have to put more attention, more focus, so that you won't fall. By doing so, sleepiness may disappear. Those are the 7 the Buddha taught Venerable Moggallana while he was sleepy. Only 7. But elders of late subdivided 7 into 11 techniques to suit the modern day yogis, ending with taking a short nap if all else fails. So this is just a little piece of information inserted into the story we are talking. So let's go back to the main topic. Honor those who are worthy of honor. The Venerable Atazi, who experienced the Dhamma last among the first 5 arahants of Buddha. If you recall, after Buddha got enlightened, he went and talked to the 5 people who attended him while he was practicing austerity program. But they left thinking that Buddha has failed. Regardless, Buddha wanted them to show his gratitude and give them the first sermon, the turning of the wheel of Dhamma. And there, Atazi is the last person who became Satipatthana. So that's Atazi. And he was the teacher who showed the light of Dhamma to Upadesa, who later is known as Sariputta. That means, if you remember last lecture, Neya individual, a person who listened to the Dhamma talk by the Buddha and then accurately practiced it to become a Satipatthana, Neya individual. However, his student, Sariputta, became Satipatthana after hearing the Buddha's views was cause and effect. That's all he heard, and he became Satipatthana. So, such kind of person is called Ogati individual, who sees the Dhamma by hearing a word or a line of Dhamma, the highest level of individual. So, the student is much, much, much greater and higher in terms of quality and knowing the Dhamma than the teacher. Also, he was the right-hand disciple, or you can call it a supreme sub-commander of Dhamma wisdom next to the Buddha. Nobody is as smart, intelligent, and all-knowing about Dhamma except the Buddha. So every monk paid honor and respect to Venerable Sariputta and learned from his teachings. So that is let's call it setting the stage. The relationship between the Atazi and Sariputta and their standing in Dhamma. And also, Venerable Sariputta had an odd habit of changing the direction of his head when he slept. Today he might be facing or putting his head direct to the south, and maybe about a few weeks, a month later, he might be turning his head to the east, and so on and so forth. So, other monks noticed that. So a group of monks thought it was inappropriate to carry such habit, which they consider it was a wrong view. Normally, when the monks sleep, they put their head direction towards where the Buddha was. But Sariputta just changed around. So, to make the long story short, they brought this case to Buddha, even though the Buddha knew the reason why Sariputta was doing that. After their complaint, in that evening, he asked Sariputta, in front of all the monks, because every evening they gathered to listen to Buddha's Dhamma talk. He asked Sariputta whether it was true what he was doing in front of everybody, all the monks, especially the one who complained. Then Sariputta unfolded the whole story of his Dhamma teacher Attaji and him. What I just told you, Sariputta told the Buddha and the crowd of monks. And he placed his head in the direction where his teacher would be, to give honor and show gratitude. Let's say Sariputta was, let's say, in Velubana with the Buddha, and Attaji might be in another place, another forest, which is in the south of that. So he will put his head south. A few weeks later, a month later, Attaji traveled to another city or town which is east of Velubana. At that time, Sariputta will lays his head in the direction of the east. The reason he was doing was he's showing his gratitude and honoring his teacher. In fact, if you look at it, his teacher was inferior or poor in Dhamma quality in every sense. If we go to the standing in the midst of all, Sariputta is a second in command next to Buddha. And also the Ogati individual. And his teacher was only Neya individual. So in every sense, Sariputta was superior to Attaji. But still, he always put his head in the direction where his teacher might be, to show gratitude and honor him. That's why he considered Attaji as the one who made him see the Dhamma, which means who made him to become Satipatthana, by telling him, my teacher is Buddha, and his view of the world is cause and effect. That's it. And then Sariputta to become enlightened and becomes Satipatthana. For that he is eternally grateful, and he considered it as the worthy of honor. Attaji and Arhat worthy of his honor because it is his teacher, the monk who guided him to attain Satipatthana. So that's a story related to Sariputta and Arhat Attaji. You can see the whole picture now. So, all you yogis, always honor and respect any teacher who guides you to attain Satipatthana. If you are already a Satipatthana, of course, then only you have that kind of a teacher. Because in Mangala Sutta, it is one of the highest blessings. May all of you practice Satipatthana Vipassana hard and fast and attain or become Satipatthana as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.